Hello, welcome to another tutorial. In this video, we are going to be looking at arithmetic in Qbasic. So, we are going to look at the arithmetic operators, which is the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division with Qbasic. Then we will go further to look at composite use of arithmetics, where we can have two or three signs spanning in an equation, and then you have to solve that using Qbasic. So let's get started and launch our Qbasic application. The next thing to do is to save your file. So just go to File, Save, and then I save always in this particular folder. I want to give it a name, and then I'll click OK. Okay, so we have it here. So the first thing about Qbasic is that it is a calculator. So assuming we want to add two numbers, we can just say print 2 plus 2. Okay, if you should run this, the result is 4. So likewise, we can print 10 minus 8. We can print 2 times 12. We can print 100 divided 5. Okay, so all these ones, when we run them, we get the correct answer. Adding or subtracting directly and printing it out, we can store these values in variables and then use the variables to perform the operations. Okay, now this is very important because going forward you may be given questions like use or write a Qbasic program to calculate the area of a circle if the radius is 7 centimeters. So with something like this, you have to put them in variables before you can proceed. So for instance, we could declare a variable dim x as integer. Okay, then we could declare another variable dim y as integer. Now I like declaring my variables like this. You can use the other method. So over here we can assign x to be 300, and then we can assign y to be 12. So from here we can now print x times y. We can print x dividing y. We can print x minus y, and the very last one we can add them. So after this you can just run, then you get the answer of everything here. Okay, so another good or important way is to store your variables or your whatever you want to multiply in variables, and then you can now perform the operations on these variables. So arithmetic with Qbasic is very simple. The next thing I want us to look at is there may be situations where you'll be given a composite or a very big calculation to make, where it has a lot of numbers and then you are dividing and multiplying, and then there is brackets and everything. So with that, you need to use the principle of bed mass. Now we know of board mass. Okay, the only difference is instead of O there is an E, and the E means exponent. Okay, so The B stands for bracket first, the E stands for exponent in that particular order. So in the next example we will be taking, we'll be looking at composite functions and how to solve them. So I want to take an example from the handout. Perfect. So we are going to be solving some of these examples. So the first one, we will take example A, try to solve it using Qbasic, or we write a Qbasic expression. Then after that, we can continue with the rest. So this one says 9 times B plus 4 to the power 2 all over 5 plus A. So in Qbasic, how do you write this? The first thing to do when you are given any expression is to note your variables. So a variable here is B, another variable is A. So when you have variables, you first of all declare, or you define those variables. So I will say dim A as integer, and then dim B as integer. Now remember, I'm using integer. They've not really told you the type of values A and B will hold, so I'm just assuming they will hold integer. But you could have dim A as double or dim B as double. Okay, so I've declared my variables. The next thing to do, and if you want to simplify this, is first of all compute everything that is on top, or the numerator first, then you compute the denominator. After that, you can divide them. That's a very simple approach. Okay, so for this, we have 9 times B plus 4 squared. Now remember the principles of bird mass. This one, the exponent is stronger, or it has precedence over the rest. Okay, so we see how we are going to do that. So it's 9 times B plus 4 squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dim another variable. So I'll say dim upper, or numerator, as integer. Okay, now I can say numerator is equal to, now remember it is 9 times B. So we have 9 times B plus 4 squared. So we can have 4 squared simply means 4 times 4. So we can have 4 times 4. Okay, now what you may want to do is put this in brackets. So I will simply wrap this in a bracket. So this will compute first, okay, and then the rest you can leave it. So per the principles of bird mass, the 4 times 4 will be computed first. After that, the 9 times B will be computed, because multiplication has precedence over addition. And then finally, the two results will be added. The next thing to do is to dim another variable, which is the denominator. So we can say dim deno as integer. Then we can then say denominator is equal to, so this is our numerator expression. We've done that in Qbasic. Now our denominator expression is 5 plus A. So we are simply going to have 5 plus A. We are done with our denominator. Then finally, we can print numerator divided by denominator to get our answer. So this is an expression, okay, in Qbasic that solves this particular problem. Perfect. Now this is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is just to do everything in a single line. Okay, now mind you, if it is in exam and you see this particular question has been given with a mark attached of 7 marks, don't do it in a single line, because if you do it in a single line, you'll be losing a lot of marks. That is not what the examiner wants. So when there is a lot of marks attached to a question like this, you can solve it using this particular method. So I can simply say method 1. So I'm going to indicate a comment. Then we go to method 2. Alright, so the method 2, we are going to solve everything in a single line. So we've already defined our variables, or we've declared our variables, so you don't need to declare that again. The next thing to do is just to go straight forward. So we have 9 times b plus 4 squared. So we can just say print 9 times 9 times b plus 4 squared is 4 times 4, right? Now the whole of this expression is dividing another expression, okay? So what we want to do is this 4 times 4, we want to put it in brackets. And then the whole numerator expression, we want to wrap it in another bracket. Then we divide by the denominator, which is 5 plus 8. So this is a single one-line expression solving this particular question or problem. So I've shown you the two methods, and you should use them appropriately. And how do you know when to use one? Just check the marks in the exam question. If the marks are huge, you use the longer approach. If it's just 1 or 2 marks, then you use the single line method approach. So thank you for watching this video. Kindly subscribe to my channel.